like a bird in the sky. The legend of the electric scooter guy. No gas, no fumes, just a hum in the air. A helmet on crooked, like he doesn't care. With a backpack full of snacks and a gleam in his eye. He's the hero we need, the electric scooter guy.
Gear up, Scooter fam. Today we're going to take a look at a number of scooters that I've ranked as my favorite in each price category, starting at under $500 up over $3,000. All right, so we're going to start at under 500, under 1,000, under 1,500, under 2,000, under 3,000, and then anything 3,000 plus. I've chosen one as my favorite for each category, and then a runner-up after that. Before I get started, one of my buddies got into a scooter accident. Tiger Grimtack, he's been on some of these podcasts, most of the podcasts that I've done here. Him and I started putting the podcasting together. Anyway, he was in a scooter accident recently and hurt his ankle pretty bad. But he's on the mend. He's doing better. So I just want to give a shout out. All right, let's get into the comparison. So my favorite scooter under 500 may not come to any surprise to anyone, but it's the first scooter that I ever bought, which is the Hover One Journey Max. I paid like $445, I want to say, for it, plus tax, which is still came out under $500 shipped, and got free delivery. So this one now is $432. They only have the white edition available. Of course, I got two different black ones, but the white edition is it would, that's fine with me. If they had only the white one, I think at the time the white one was more expensive than the black one. I probably would have got the black one anyway, if they were the same price. But if they had, if the white one had been cheaper, I would have just got that one. In any case, once again, this is a great scooter for performance for the money. You're not going to get a better scooter for under $500, in my opinion. You got dual motors, 350 watts a piece, 36 volt system. There's nothing, crazy special about the scooter. There's no suspension. There's no app. It's just a scooter that's for performance. But for the money, it gives you really decent performance. Great hill climbing, great acceleration, top speed just over 20 miles an hour. So nothing spectacular on top speed. Once again, it's less than $500. You're probably not going to find too much available to go over 20 miles an hour for under $500. So, and even if you do, they're not going to be able to climb the hills. I think Hover One's got another dual motor scooter that's maybe a little cheaper than this, but I just don't think it doesn't look as well built, and then I've heard some problems with wobbles and things like that out of it. So I don't know. I just don't really I don't really get into the other ones. It just looks different. This one's real sturdy, simple, but it does the job, and that's what I like about it the most for the money. So never had the slightest problem out of instability, wobbles of any kind. It's a tank of a scooter. My neighbor still has it. I gave one to my neighbor, and he still rides it. Went to the store today on it. So it's a solid scooter, and I got no problems recommending it. It's still lasting, it's still running and taking care of stuff. And even though I don't have it anymore, I go check on it every once in a while. So just saw it today. Anyway, great scooter. Can't beat it for under $500. That's my opinion. For the runner-up, we got the InMotion Climber, and I know we're supposed to stay under $500, but it's really difficult for me to recommend a single motor scooter. I'm a dual motor scooter guy, and any scooter you get for under $500, a single motor. I mean, I just it's hard for me to do that in good conscience. if I were considering a teenager like 15 or under, maybe. But even after that, like 16 and above, you're probably gonna at least want something like the Journey Max. So the InMotion Climber is very similar to the Journey Max in specs. It's a 36 volt system. I think the motors are 450 watts a piece. I know it says dual 750 watt motors. That's not correct. It has a peak power of 750 watts per motor, and then peak power of 1500 watts. But the motors themselves are 450 watts, and then you got the amps, the controllers that multiply that, and so you've got a total peak power of 1500 watts, dual 750 watt power coming from each motor. In any case, it's IP56 waterproof rating, which is really good compared to the Hover One Journey Max. The thing I like about it the most, probably, I like the water rating. It's nice not to have to worry about that. And it says modular design lets you easily change the tire within 10 minutes. That's the selling point to me. If you did want to spend a little bit extra money, this one. Like I said, performance is pretty similar. The motors are a little bit bigger than the Journey Max, and they're split. And I think the tires are 10-inch tires, and so you got split rims. So changing a tube is not a big deal on this scooter. That's really the only real difference here, I think, is in general that would make me go that way. Besides the water rating, is the split rims. I mean, I hate changing those tires on the Journey Max. So split rims would be a selling point for me. But once again, if you're willing to pay $600 plus, to get split rims over the Journey Max, fine. If you want a better overall just bang for your buck, I'll go with the Journey Max. If you're willing to spend a little bit more money, the Apollo Go is my favorite scooter under $1,000. And I own the Apollo Go as well, and I gotta say, for a $900, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat at that price. Very similar specs to the Apollo Go. I'm sorry, this is the Apollo Go. To the Journey Max, in regard that it's got two 350 watt motors, a 36 volt system. The acceleration, the top speed is a little bit better. And I probably get the feeling that my guess is that the Journey Max has the power to go as fast as the Apollo Go, but the Apollo Go is built for that speed a little bit better than the Journey Max. The Journey Max has no suspension, and if you get up around 25 miles an hour plus with no suspension, and you hit a serious bump or something, that could be catastrophic. So the Go is built a little better for that. It has suspension, and it can go about 25, 26 miles an hour. I hit 27 on it once, which surprised me, but I did. And I was on a flat surface. I don't remember being exceptionally windy that day, but whatever the case may be, I did hit 27. I looked down, and it kind of surprised me. So the Apollo Go, for the money, $900 is my favorite scooter under $1,000. Now, obviously, if it goes above $1,000, as it has before in the past, I don't think it's a good buy. $1,000 is a good buy. $900 is a great buy. So I like the Apollo Go the best under $1,000. It's just compact, powerful, with suspension. You got the turn signals. You got the regen brakes along with the drum brakes, which I pretty much use the regen brakes most of the time. Turn them all the way up, and I can come to a pretty good stop with the regen. It's easy to get used to. For the runner-up, at the same price, I've got the GX0 from GoTrax. It's a dual-motor electric scooter, also 36 volts, has a top speed of 28 miles an hour, has a tire size of 10-inch tires, and I think it's a good comparison. Honestly, it's a good comparison. Once again, to the to the Go, to the In Motion Climber, to the Hover Journey Max. We're talking about similar performance. You've got dual motors, you've got 500 watts, but you're still talking 36-volt battery. Top speed, like I said, probably the best of all. Being 500, I probably will hit 28 miles an hour is my guess. And you got the suspension. You got decently beefy suspension. So, the things that I like, a little bit better about the Go is that it's more compact. You do have the turn signals on there, and I kind of love the regen brakes on the Apollo. But the Apollo Go is a little bit safer for the streets because of the turn signals, and I use them quite a bit when I'm riding, in the type of riding I do. If you're gonna ride on trails and so forth, you don't really care about turn signals. This is just as good of a scooter. I think it's not quite as compact, so it kind of depends what your needs are. But I do like either one of these. But for me, I will have to go with the Apollo Go. All right, so before the $1,000 to $1,500 category, this may come as no surprise to anyone, but I have the Apollo City as my number one pick. I love the scooter. It's been a perfect commuter scooter. I think that $14.99 is a fair price for this scooter. It dropped to $12.99. I thought that was a pretty good deal. And so $1,099 is a steal, if you ask me. Like I said, just a great scooter. Then we got 500 watt motors, 48 volt battery, running on a 48 volt battery system. Full suspension. The suspension is fine. I've not had any issues with the Apollo City whatsoever so far as suspension getting clunky. The stem play, I haven't had any stem play yet, and so far I have nothing negative to report about the City, and I use it all the time. So at $10.99, I think the City is an absolute steal, and just a great scooter. It's got IPX6 rating, 2 UL certifications. Just an overall great scooter. And I do add a silicone lubricant to the suspension just to make sure it stays kind of lubricated. And doesn't start grinding and making like a clunky sound. And so far so good. Rides really smooth. The suspension isn't super plush like the Klima or anything, but it's fine. It handles anything. I haven't had anything yet that it felt completely uncomfortable to go over. So really nice. Like I said, for the money, just honestly, between $1,000 and $1,500, it's my favorite pick right now. Bang for the buck, can't beat it. And the runner-up is the Go Trax, again with the GX1, also $10.99. This has a 600 watt motor, dual motors with dual suspension, and it's got the it does have a UL listing as well. It goes 30 miles an hour, really close to what the Apollo City states. So I would expect that to be similar. It has a 300-pound payload, which is a little bit better than the City. But I can't say I don't have a riding experience on it. Obviously, the City does have the turn signals. It does have the regen brakes, which I use a lot and I like a lot. And this does have tubeless tires, which I think this one has tube tires, if I remember correctly. So a nice competitor, like I said, 48 volts, dual 600 watt motors, a little bit bigger motor. It says up to 30 miles per hour, which is great. And like I said, the City will hit 30 easy, no problem at all. So I think it's a good runner up, but I still think the Apollo City gives you more bang for the buck. So now from $2,000 to $3,000 may not surprise anyone here either. But my favorite is going to be the Nami Klima. Uh, Either one is fine, but the Klima Max right now is $2,300, which is a steal. That's a steal for this scooter. Um, I got it pulled up on Wired Rides. Wired Rides has it right now for $2,300. I've worked with Wired Rides in the past. I got my PMT tires from there. Great experience with them. I have no issues recommending them, and I even put a code in the description if you guys decide you want the Klima or another scooter from them. They sell a few different Namis, including the Stellar, Super Stellar, the Bernese, and like I said, the 24 amp, 25 amp hour Klima, which I think is like 2,100, something like that, 2,099. But even, and which I also think is a decent deal. But 23 is for the Klima Max is awesome. That's a good price. And once again, it's the scooter I own, not the Klima Max, but it's 25 amp hour. And it's the same scooter other than the battery size, and the Klima Max uses a name brand battery, but all the performance specs are the same. 2,000 watt motor, 60 volt system. Once again, for this one is 30 amp hours versus 25 amp hours for the other version of it, the one I own. And then has a top speed around 42 miles an hour, and I get, the way I ride it, about 40 miles of range. I've gotten 50, but kind of depends what I do with it and what time of year it is. So I'll say 40 to 50 miles of range isn't too difficult riding around and running errands. Nothing crazy, not running, doing races or to going top speed or anything like that all the time, but just doing my normal day-to-day stuff. I can easily get 40 miles plus. Great suspension, great ride. I have PMTs. I put PMTs on mine. I put four caliper Logan hydraulic piston brakes on mine. It came with 2 caliper Logan pistons, and I put 4 on there. The scooter's amazing. I like the ability to just plug and play, switch things out, move things around. I kind of like to make the cockpit, so to speak, kind of like I want it, and put things where I want it. And it's just very friendly as far as that goes. I've had to change brakes a couple of times. That's been a breeze on that scooter. You just pop it open, change it out, plug it back in, tighten it down, you're good to go. And that's lovely. So I can't recommend the Nami Klima enough, personally. For the runner-up, I've got the new Roadrunner RS6 and RS6 Ultra. Right now, it's about as much as I would want to pay for it, and probably, just because it's so new, I think it's probably worth it right now. I'd like to see it drop down to about $2,500 to be a really good deal. I think this scooter would be amazing at $2,500. But $2,899 is probably the most I'd pay, and like I said, that's probably because right now that's the best. It's new, right? You're not going to get just a crazy deal when it's brand new and they're just releasing it. So it's got 11 by 4 PMT racing tires, which is amazing. It's got an IP67 rating, which is awesome. It also uses KKE dual hydraulic suspension shocks, just like the Klima. It's got a 60 volt 35 amp hour, which is pretty big for a 60 volt, bigger than the Klima Max. Of course, the Klima Max being $2,300 right now is crazy. This has got nut hydraulic brakes, really good. So the specs are awesome on this scooter. I think it has like 60 amp controllers or something like that. And so it's a little bit of a beast of a scooter for under $3,000. But I wouldn't pay more than $3,000 for this scooter ever. But yeah, I feel like the scooter is really a decent deal. Well, considering it's new, I think it's worth it. I'll put it that way. I think it's worth it. It doesn't ship until mid-August. It looks like you got 10 units available for pre-orders. So it's still pre-order. We don't know what the panels are going to do. Of course, I don't suspect we're going to have similar problems. I don't think they'll be taking too many weird chances like that again. And I think the RX-7's probably worked out those issues. I haven't heard of any more new issues. I haven't heard to the contrary either. So you never know for sure. But I'm sure I would have heard something somewhere by now, but I haven't heard anything. So this is my runner-up. I still think the Klima Max or the Klima is a better bang for the buck overall. But this is a cool scooter. It's new. It's exciting, and to be honest, it's intriguing. All the specs, and then 60 volt, 35 amp hour is that's going to get you some range. It says it's got 60 mile an hour plus top speed, and it very well might 80 miles. I mean, it's got some good specs, no question about it. 29, like I said, right now I'd like it to settle in a little lower, closer to the mid 2000s. But at the moment, it is what it is, and it didn't make my number one, but it made my runner up. Over $3,000. The winner has to be the Mars XTR, and it's just bang for the buck. It's just bang for the buck. $3,400. You got a 72 volt, 45 amp hour Samsung battery, which is crazy. Scooter that goes 65 plus miles an hour. It's got a nice beefy dual stem, incredibly stable scooter from everything that I've seen and heard. It's really just, once again, bang for the buck at this level of her, super scooter type 60 plus mile an hour scooter. It's really nice, and even has a $69 discount code of Mars69. And but yeah, I love this scooter. That's also under G Space. I think it's the GTR, the G Space GTR, something like that. Same scooter, just little bit different branding, same company. So like I said, really powerful scooter, really nice scooter, really stable scooter, from everything that I've heard, and I wouldn't say that, based on the way it's built and looks, I wouldn't doubt it one bit. So it's got turn signals. I mean, just I think the water rating is IP66 or IP67, so it's got a really good water rating. Just it pretty much can do whatever you want it to do. It doesn't have sine wave controllers, the typical sine wave controllers, but it has FOC sine wave controllers, which is I think better than square wave, but not kind of in between. It's not the full. You don't get the full spectrum of control like you do on a sine wave, from what I understand. So like I said, very nice scooter. I haven't heard any negative things about it. So from everything I understand, it's a very dependable scooter, and very good quality. So I have no problems recommending the Mars XTR. And the runner-up is a scooter that's just been, creeping along this whole time in my mind. The InMotion RS Midnight. This is the 2.0. You can only get the RS now at Voro Motors. They sell them exclusively, and it's just a scooter that is really intriguing. Really, great, just great, well built. Everyone likes it. It has some flaws, has some issues with some of the controllers and some of the cables and so forth. This is the 2.0, so I suspect they've fixed some of those problems. I have heard about the motor cables, the hub motor cables improved from before, and possibly some tweaks and some wiring and so forth that should fix some of those problems. But so I and for the price, for $3,400 right now, for the RS, is awesome, and there may be even be a code that you could find out there to get maybe at least a couple more $100 off. So as this scooter gets closer to like 3 grand, that's kind of nuts, and well worth it. Well worth it. All right, guys, those are my picks for my favorite scooter in each price point. Um, let's take a look at some riding footage. This is supposed to be just a quick little trip to 7-Eleven. I wasn't supposed to do too much, but then I get here and they tell me that they're only taking cash. I don't really carry a lot of cash around with me, so I had to go up to somewhere else. So I had to go to another store to get a drink for my wife. So I was just running to get her something real quick, which I like to do on my scooters every once in a while. So I'm taking the Klima today, so we can talk a little bit about the Klima. It's been a solid scooter. I think I mentioned earlier on my reviews and stuff earlier, going over my favorite scooters. The Klima is my favorite scooter that I own. It's not the one I use the most because my favorite isn't necessarily the most reasonable. The one that makes the most sense. I think the Apollo City is the perfect medium, the perfect middle ground scooter. It does what I need it to do. Does it efficiently. Does it very well. It's not as fun to ride as the Klima, but it's solid. It's just got a commuter daily scooter feel to it, and just performance is just fine. Now this one, yeah, of course, it's got I don't even ride this around top gear. I ride all my other scooters around top gear. But the Klima is just a bit punchy for me in X mode. I've tried C mode, but I don't like C mode at the only problem I had with C mode was at intersections, because at intersections I like to get out there and zip over to get out of the way for cars and stuff that's trying to turn behind me, or wait for me to cross so they can turn, that kind of thing, to the right or something like that, cross traffic. And so those types of things I like to just go ahead and zip on across. Except when I'm in C mode and I go to zip, I mean it zips, and I just I don't want to have to like back off of that just to be able to ride around in C mode. I don't want to have to do that. And in S mode, sports mode is perfect. I can get more zip if I want out of it. I can floor it and it'll go. But just a quick little punch to get across the intersection when I'm at an intersection is works perfectly in sports mode for me. So D mode I rode around only when I didn't have the brakes working very well in the beginning, because I was nervous. Eco mode is useless on this scooter. But once I got the brakes working, I had been on the Journey Max, as much as it sounds silly, but yeah, I'd been on the Journey Max. I was used to the acceleration, the decent acceleration, so riding around in S mode felt very natural to me. Of course, it's more powerful. Of course, I can get to top speeds way over the Journey Max, but as far as getting that, feeling that kind of acceleration and having it's sports mode is perfect. And I've even turned it up to where I can go like 37 or 39 or whatever it is, so you can get to top speed without going into turbo mode. And to go into turbo mode, you have to be in X mode. So I certainly don't ride around in X mode, because X mode I have trouble even just going from the beginning without getting too much pull. And I just don't like it. I just don't like it. First of all, it pulls me, and I like to be able to feel more in control of the scooter. And X mode just feels out of control. C mode is controllable, but once again, when I go to give it a little bit, it gives me a little too much, especially just for something short like crossing the intersection. So sports mode is perfect for me on a day to day. Now, if I'm somewhere else in an open area or something like that, maybe I'll bump it up or something. But just my daily errands and so forth. Yeah, C is just a tad much for me. So sports mode is right where I like to ride around, and on my Klima, and that's probably why I get like 40 plus miles per gallon. But as opposed to riding around X mode all the time, going trying to hit 40 miles an hour all the time, which I've never done. So, but I got it set up like I want it. I do get in traffic now and then. I've got my mirrors on both sides, which is a necessity for me if I'm going to get out into traffic. I've got my new brakes on, which are amazing. I've got the 4 caliper pistons on, which I'm really getting a feel for, and really liking a lot on the Klima. I don't use the Klima as much as I do the City, quite honestly. The City's just, yeah, like I said, just easier. It's just, it does what I need it to do. Everything I need it to do, it has it. And I'm really comfortable on it. So, I'm gonna accumulate more miles on City than I am in these other scooters. If I haven't passed up the Go already on the City, I'm going to very quickly, just because I use it so much. It's probably be a little longer before I overtake the Klima. The Klima has like 400 miles on it, and I almost over 100 and something on the City. But I'm only at 100 and something on the Go, so I'm already about to pass up the Go, and that really gets used the least. I will be bouncing forth for the most part back between the Pulse City and the Klima. Like I said, just because I enjoy riding the Klima, it's nice to get out and feel the power, and it's always fun to get out there and just kind of punch it a little bit, and because it does have a little bit, quite a bit more power than either one of the other scooters that I have. So it's just got a lot of potential to go and get moving. But yeah, like I said, this is my favorite scooter. It's the one that I would want to let go the least. But it's not the perfect middle ground scooter. The city is really that scooter. 48 volts. I didn't really think would wet my whistle, so to speak, but it just does the perfect job. 52. I've ridden a 52 volt scooter. I think the Apollo Phantom V4 is a 52 volt, and that my buddy let me ride, and so that one, I've ridden it, and it doesn't do what the Klima does. I think the top speed is similar, but the Klima just has a lot more to it, and so I like that scooter, and like I said, 52 volts is more than I have on the City, but not more than I necessarily need on a daily basis. And I didn't realize 48 volts would do as much as it did. I mean, 30 miles an hour effortlessly, 48 volts is kind of impressive. I'm kind of impressed by it. But like I said, the Klima for all this times that I've had it, and I've put the PMTs on it, and just done what I want with it. Changed out the calipers, changed out the brake levers, mostly out of necessity, as far as the brake levers go. But yeah, it's still a solid scooter. I've had it now since I got it last October, I believe. So coming up on just a few months away from having it a full year, and got about over 400 miles on it now in a year. I've had other scooters to ride instead of it. It's the one that I've ridden the most, I would say, besides the Journey Max. I got the Journey Max in June of last year, and the first one in June. I got the other one like a couple weeks later, which was like at the beginning of July, but a year ago. And so, and then I rode them for about 3 months straight, almost every day, like literally almost every day. And I had two of them, so I kind of split the time between the two. But I rode those scooters. I don't necessarily, they were identical, so I don't, really recall which one I rode. I mean, like I said, I just kind of went back and forth. I would charge one, have one charged up, charge one, and just flip them out. But and just to kind of split the load between them and keep them kind of both going as far as battery charging and so forth. But running them around, on a daily basis. I rode them on a daily basis, so I have more miles on the Journey Maxes than I have on any of my other scooters. By the time I got, now it'll probably be combined. I get that because it was two of them, but it's just it's kind of the same scooter. But anyway, I have more miles on that scooter. And there's a stupid nail. I'm trying to get out of the way. There we go. And so I have more miles on that scooter. Not one scooter, but on the Journey Max. I have more miles on that scooter than any other scooter. The Klima's next, obviously. I got the Klima last October, but I couldn't ride it every day. I certainly did not get to ride it every day. There's a nice little Challenger. And I didn't get to ride it every day, but it was cold and weather didn't agree, and sometimes I had to go like a week or so without riding it, and I try to squeeze in days here and there, but I just wasn't able to put the kind of use into it. Now that summer's here, I've got the city, and so that's kind of had to share the time with that, and then I've got the Apollo Go that I've got to put a little miles on and use it. I used that quite a bit when I was doing my PMTs because it took me a week or so to get those on. So there's just been some things, and then the brakes, and so the Klima's had to sit up here and there, for different reasons. I think it was a Go, but yeah. So I was doing my PMTs and I was doing my brakes, and having to set the Klima up for a while, and that's okay because that's kind of the scooter that it is gonna be. It's gonna be my my, as far as I'm concerned, for right now, it's my scooter that I fix up, that I add PMTs to, that I trick out. So it's gonna be the one that I kind of like modify, add the PMTs, add the cool stuff too. It's my project scooter. The Klima is my project scooter, and it's perfect for that. It's built for that. So if I do any customizations to the scooter, in the future, it's probably going to be my Klima. The city's my workhorse. It's going to be my workhorse. It's going to do my day-to-day stuff. But then the Klima's going to be my flashy scooter. It's going to be the stuff I do, the cool stuff too. I might do some LED lights I don't know. I mean, just I've got the PMTs. I've got the four caliper pistons on there. I'm gonna I may upgrade some things here and there. Just this is the scooter that I'm gonna, like I said, it's kind of my project scooter, my play scooter, so to speak. And this scooter is perfect for that. Like I said, it's real easy, plug and play stuff that I want to change, try things out in the future. I can, but yeah, I love the Klima a lot. It's totally, for me, it's that scooter. In the future, I'll get a bigger scooter, the RS or the XTR or something like that. Who knows? But this scooter, I think right now, it gives me everything I want. It's stylish, it's fast, it's cool. I don't need to go 60 miles an hour right now. I've never even went 40. So this gives me more than I need, and I would like to test those other scooters out. I'd like to get a feel for them. I'll get a feel for them, during the expo this year in Dallas, the Electrify Expo. So I would like to. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know who all is going to be there, but I'll take advantage of whatever I can while I am there. Get some experience on some different scooters and get a feel for them. It'll be fun. We'll get some e-bikes and some EUCs and so forth as well. Get to ride those. EUC training is going pretty well. For me, I would have to say I'm in no hurry. I'm in no hurry. I have no timeline. I mean, I've got kind of a timeline, but it's like November. Not really a timeline. You know, as long as I can get comfortable enough to get on the unicycle, ride around in a controlled environment, and feel comfortable doing that, then I'd like to try out a couple of unicycles if I get a chance to. So it's going well. It's going well. It's been like 2 weeks now, and you know, I said in the beginning, I'm not in a rush. I am not proficient at the EUC yet, and I'm only going out maybe 30 minutes a day, but I'm going every day, and so it's coming slowly. You know, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. I'm not doing things the way other people think I should do them. I'm doing things the way I feel comfortable doing them. And I think everybody should do that. You shouldn't feel pressure to do something the way other people do it, or think that that's the best way. You should find your own best way. There's so many videos out there with different ways to do stuff. Take from each, something from each of those videos that you'd like to try, and then implement them in your own plan. That's what I've done. And so I haven't seen done exactly what I'm doing the way that I'm doing it, and so I take in piece by piece here, piece there, and instead of just like trying to follow someone's direct this is how you learn how to ride an EUC, and some people get frustrated, and I think my opinion is that a lot of people get frustrated because from what I see, most of the videos when they're learning to ride EUC, they tell you to get on a wall or a fence. First thing you do, get on a wall or a fence, and then learn to go along the wall, kind of get in the wall to help a little bit, and then eventually trying to get away from the wall and start going on your own, and trying to figure it out and so forth. And then they tell you just lean forward. Just at this point, you've really got to commit. You've really got to just lean forward and trust that the EUC is going to carry you forward when you lean. And so you're putting your trust into the EUC that you're gonna lean forward and you're not gonna fall. It's like a trust fall, so to speak. And so you've got to lean forward and trust that the EUC is going to take care of the rest, and then you get going. The only problem with that I have so far is that you haven't really learned how to mount or dismount, so you can't actually get up on the scooter or off the scooter without using a wall or a fence, and so you're forced to, after putting all your faith into the scooter and leaning forward, trying to figure out how you're going to stop and how you're going to get off the EUC. Sorry if I say scooter every once in a while, because I mostly only talk about scooters. But so to me, that's a bit of a flaw of design. When you're in your training programs, just my take on it. And so I just wanted a much more methodical approach. And so the first thing I did was learn how to get off and on the scooter. And then once I learned to get off and on the scooter in the grass, I didn't use any walls, I didn't use any fences, just out on my own in the grass. This dude kind of creeps me out a little bit. I was like, what the fuck is this dude? All right. Anyway, so I don't know why he turned around and looked at me like that. I'm like, what is this dude talking about? But yeah, so I didn't do that. I learned how to get off and on the EUC first. Before I did anything else, I practiced in the grass, getting on, getting off. I banged my ankles up and stuff like that. And so it taught me how to step on, taught me how to step off. I didn't perfect it, but I got the idea. And then I went to a downslope, and then I learned how to balance at a slow speed, getting on the EUC. So since I knew how to mount and dismount, I got a slight downhill slope, went on the slope, got going downhill until where I could balance for a pretty good distance, and then I was comfortable going over to the pavement. I did most of my. I've only failed twice, and both times are in the grass. I have not fallen on the pavement. It's a little just easier to ride on a pavement. But some of the skills I wanted to work out in the grass, and I didn't want to drop my EUC again and again and again on a pavement. I know some people get the covers, or they'll just become okay with the fact that their EUC is probably going to get scratched up, and that's fine. But I wanted to eliminate as much as I could of that in the grass, and it was a good idea. I've only dropped my EUC twice on a pavement. Every other time has been a controlled dismount or a control bail. Not necessarily a perfect dismount, but one where I was able to catch the EUC and not have it scrape up. And I got a couple scrapes on each of the bottoms of the pedals, and that's pretty much it. The scooter, the EUC is in great condition. So that I liked that approach. Once I got over to the pavement. Once I got over to the pavement, I was able to balance even at slow speeds, and then I had to start working on my slowing down and stopping. I didn't have to do too much of that in the grass, so I had to first learn how to slow down and stop, and then go on and then move on. From that, but. It takes a little time to get used to everything and so forth. So I've only been going out, learning a little bit every day. I put that one video up. I've gotten better since then. A lot of that's been my posture. You got to kind of straighten up a bit. I kind of go back and forth. It's funny because I did the posture thing at first, and I stood up straight, and it gave me a lot more control. But now that I've gotten going again, I'm starting to lean forward a bit. I mean, you kind of gotta tweak it until you get a feel for how it goes, But I'm getting better and better every day. Hitting speed bumps now, having no problem with speed bumps, and I'm not to the point where I can actually go on a full errand or something like that, but. I did this in a parking lot mostly, and then now I've gotten out of the parking lot doing a little riding from the parking lot and back. Before I was taking my car, putting the EUC in the back of the car, going to the parking lot and practicing the empty parking lot, which is great. Like I said, no pressure on myself, not using a wall, not using a fence, because I know how to mount, I know how to dismount, I can control my balance on slow speed, and so I never used a wall. I never used a fence. I never used anything to hold myself up. I've always just done it on my own, first in the grass and then on a pavement, and with very few falls or dropping my EUC along the way. So I did plenty of dropping the EUC in the grass. I mean, that's where you want to do that. So, but eventually you get pretty good at getting on and off. Controlling what you do, and it's hard. Like I said, and I didn't have to wear any gear in the grass. So you probably should maybe want to wear some shin protection and so forth, because that's what took the most damage. I mean, kind of jumping off and banging my legs against the pedal and so forth. But those types of, I expected those types of things. You're gonna scrape your shin and stuff like that. That doesn't bother me. So so I've got some bruises and some scrapes and so forth from all in the grass, all pretty much all in the grass. On the pavement, I just had, it's less issues, and like I said, once I got over there, it was easier to get going. I still, and so I still haven't just, to this day, like fully. I'm doing this on my own terms, so I haven't just fully committed to going and leaning as hard as I can and just flying forward. Even doing it the way I'm doing it now, slowly, the better I get at lower speeds. I've got it capped at like 15 miles an hour right now, so I've never even hit 15, probably more closer to 10 or so, and so I think I'm taking a drink of water. That was a pretty picture of the clouds, though. I think I raised my my helmet up to take a sip of water, but in any case, I've been, taking this, little by little, and I've experienced some wobbles here and there, and so I kind of like that I'm sort of working my way through them, because even at some of the slower speeds, when you accelerate, when you brake, my legs are still a little shaky. I'm still a little nervous on some things, and so I'm getting less and less nervous in the parking lot. That's getting easier and easier. But today I decided to, like I said, go over to the parking lot on the EUC, and then back and forth. So now it's a sidewalk. I don't have as much open area. There's cars on one side, there's ditches on the other, and it's a little more nerve-wracking. So working on that. Guys, if you found this content helpful and you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. And happy riding.
A dream on the fly, zooms past the world, electric and spry. Through the city he weaves like a bird in the sky. The legend of the electric scooter guy. No gas, no fumes, just a hum in the air. A helmet on crooked, like he doesn't care. With a backpack full of snacks and a gleam in his eye. He's the hero we need, the electric scooter guy. Oh, scooter guy, you're flying so high, dodging the traffic as you glide by. Street lights flicker as you electrify. You're the one and only electric scooter guy. Potholes can't stop him, he jumps with flair. Wind in his face, like he just doesn't care. Charging his ride while sipping a chai. The unstoppable electric scooter guy. Ah, yeah. Late night rides under neon glow. His battery's low, but he still won't go. He's a rebel on wheels, no need to comply. Forever rolling, the electric scooter guy. Oh, scooter guy, you're flying so high, dodging the traffic as you glide by. Street lights flicker as you electrify. You're the one and only electric scooter guy. Oh, scooter guy, you're flying so high, dodging the traffic as you glide by. Street lights flicker as you electrify. You're the one and only electric scooter guy. Electric scooter guy. Electric scooter guy.